Analyst, let's talk about number 10, Alabama, hanging on to beat South Florida 17-3. This game had a long weather delay in it as there was some weather coming through Tampa. But more than that, this is the first day that I can remember a quarterback running through the middle of an Alabama defense without an armed motorcade, because that's exactly what was going on. And yet, and still, Alabama could not pull away from a South Florida team that had a hard time moving the ball through the air. This game was 10-3 until the final minute of regulation. It is not what we have come to expect from an Alabama offense, right? Even if it is what we've come to expect from an Alabama defense. Tyler Buchner got the start in this game, and his first 4 drives ended in punts. Every last one of them. He looked uncomfortable. He looked like he was still trying to figure out how to aim the ball instead of just rocking and firing. You could see how Jalen Milroe is the best quarterback that they have at Alabama, but still, they put Ty Simpson in there, and Ty Simpson was 5 of 14 for 34 yards at one point, and then found a sort of a rhythm. But this is obviously a team that is down at quarterback for the first time in a very long time. And now we're talking about Bama like a team that might finish even third in the SEC West. I kept watching this game going, you know who can't wait for this game to get played? Ole Miss next week, because Ole Miss gets to travel to Tuscaloosa with Pete Golding as defensive coordinator, Lane Kiffin calling the plays. You'll know Lane Kiffin and Pete Golding were once coordinators for Nick Saban, and they've already seen one former Texas assistant, or excuse me, I should say one former Alabama assistant at Texas and Steve Sarkisian go get a W in Tuscaloosa. They would like to make that 2 in the same season, and we haven't seen that in some time in a regular season for an Alabama football team coached by Nick Saban. We're harkening all the way back to like 2007 here, guys, when we're talking about how bad Alabama looks compared to what they have been. Now, unrealistic expectations are what you're going to have if you're Bama, because you have set the standard for winning. You have the best football coach in the history of the sport in Nick Saban. They expect to not just win 11, 12 games, they expect to win national championships at Alabama. And right now, I can only think that Bama fans are beside themselves, because it's not the offensive line isn't great. It's not that it's good either, or I should say, it's not that it's not good, it's just not great. It's that your quarterbacks are still trying to figure out what they're supposed to do in this offense that was supposed to be built around running the football and playing complementary defense. And frankly, they were able to run the football well. When they got Jace McClellan going, when they got Roydell Williams going, they look fine. It's when you're asking those quarterbacks to complete passes on 3rd and long and really hit their marks on one-on-one coverage that they are lacking. So Alabama is at 10, but I think they're going to slide after what they showed against South Florida. And shout out to the Bulls, who absolutely were up for the fight and are a G5 team that many people would have expected even this Alabama team to blow out. And now with the SEC schedule up next for Alabama, goodness, it's hard to see how they're going to make it through the rest of this regular season without suffering at least one more loss. And again, I point to Ole Miss next week.